Hi, everyone. Welcome to the Mindset and Muscle Podcast, episode 7, I believe, or 8. Did we reach 8? Anyway, this podcast episode is about how to be a fitness girly, or so you want to be a fitness girly, is probably what I'm going to call it. Anyway, before we start, if you're watching the video, you're going to see that's a whole different setup again today. I have my mic, so hopefully the sound is better. Now I'm thinking when I'm going to look back and forth at the camera, if I do, that might make the quality of the sound a little bit less good. So maybe I'll just look at the camera, not look at the camera. I'll actually look at my laptop to look at the screen and the notes and the script and things like that. So my face is not moving too much away from that mic. And something fell. I don't even know what it is. Anyway, so I hope it's okay. Let me know how it is. I'd love the feedback. If you hear, again, the quality is not good, if the setup is not good, let me know. I kind of like it, to be honest. I kind of like it if you're able to see that video. If not, then hopefully just the sound is a little bit better this week. But anyway, today's episode is very exciting because we're diving into transforming from like a gym newbie to like a fitness girly as seen on Instagram. So I'll be sharing tips, encouragement, some insights maybe about how to kickstart your journey into being a gym girly or a fitness girly. So the first thing to keep in mind is that you don't have to look like a fitness girly to be a fitness girly. And actually, at first, you won't. I don't think everybody would say that I look like one, especially not in my hoodie right now or my sweater right now. But also, I don't think a lot of the times that I necessarily look like the fitness girls on Instagram. However, what I think everybody who knew me a couple years ago would agree on is that I look a lot more like a fitness girly now than when I started out. Than when I was 50 pounds heavier, more than that, when I was eating like trash, just everything like physically, but also just my habit, my knowledge on it, just everything. Now I am a lot more of that aesthetic of a fitness girly than I was. But that's the thing, I didn't start off looking like one, and you won't either. Because the thing is, a lot of us were comparing our chapter 1, and it applies to everything actually in life, not just fitness, but including fitness. We're comparing our chapter 1 to somebody else's chapter 15, chapter 20. Why? The people you're seeing on Instagram, they've already been working out for years to get that body. And then there's other things obviously in the equation as well. There's genes. A lot of people on Instagram are also on some sort of enhancements, whatever it is. But all of this doesn't matter. Just like the aesthetic in general, I know that you're probably thinking I'm not looking to be super muscular or anything, but a lot of people on Instagram, a lot of fitness influencers, even if they don't look like they're super, have a lot of muscle, there's a lot of things that are involved in that. So again, genes is a part of it. Like I said, some sort of maybe steroids sometimes. Anavor, I heard, is the most popular one that a lot of people do take that still make them feel like look very feminine and things like that. So you might not be able to tell sometimes if somebody is on it or not. As well as Photoshop. A lot of things on Instagram are Photoshop. But even if we take all of those aside, we still have people who are very fit, who are what maybe your ideal body would be, or whatever you're thinking about right now. So that's removing all of those that I mentioned before. That's what I still want to focus on. That person worked out for years to be able to look like that. So don't compare your, maybe I should start going to the gym once a week, to that person's chapter 20 or whatever it is. I also kind of want to redefine what it means to be a fitness girly, like on Instagram. Like, it's not about perfection. It's about really embracing your unique fitness journey, your progress, and finding what works for you. If you want that aesthetic, that's fine too. Like I said, just don't compare, because that's very easy to do. And just embrace that journey. Imagine yourself as somebody who does work out, who is fit, who is healthy, and things like that. So that was kind of like the first point to start, but that was a very important point. Like, don't just glance over it, or, just kind of wait for the actual tips and not paying attention to that first point. That's a very important one. But anyway, the second step is to start now and to start before you're ready, aka start now. When I began my fitness journey, and I might actually have an episode later when I talk about how I did that, where I began, what I was doing first. Just, what is that term? Oh, what is that term when spoiler alert. Spoiler alert. I did not start off lifting weights. I started off doing Zumba and things like that, actually. But anyway, when I began my fitness journey, stepping into the gym felt daunting. So that place I was doing Zumba at was actually next, like, there was also a gym there. So I was also working out there, not using free weights or anything like that, but kind of just trying out the equipment. But I was just like, surrounded by men, by big muscular men who knew what they were doing, who knew how to use the equipment. And I didn't, right? So trust me, you're not alone if you feel that way. Everybody else who has asked me for some tips, some advice on starting out in the gym, all feel like that. So the key is to start small and to start now. Don't wait until you feel super confident. You're going to build the confidence as you go. So you need to start before you're ready. And then set like achievable goals to start. Try different workouts, I would say. Try different things and find what works for you and what excites you, because that might not be the same thing for everybody. But once you try different things, or even if you're just researching it, if you don't want to try out actually different types of workouts, just maybe Google it. If you find, or once you do that, you will find your look, you'll find your aesthetic, you'll find your vibe. And again, being a fitness girly isn't just limited to one style of workout or one particular look. It's about really embracing fitness as a lifestyle, I would say. So finding activities that make you feel super empowered, super confident. And that could be anything from lifting weights to like practicing yoga to doing a dance class, just anything and everything, But once you know what that aesthetic is for you, find a gym or a studio or anything, depending on what you're doing, but find a place that offers what you want and need, that is also convenient, is a place where it's not like you have to drive 45 minutes to go. If it's something maybe a little bit more rare and that's the only studio or the only gym that offers that, and you don't mind driving 45 minutes to go a couple times a week, then sure, do it. But especially when you're starting and you're really kind of like hoping motivation is going to help you to even go to that gym, I don't think that's a great idea. I think you should find something a lot more convenient. For example, if you want to lift weights, so any of like the commercial gyms would work, or any gym really would work in that case. But then choose something that's affordable for you, like in your budget, but also close to either where you live or where you work. So you can either go after work, or if you want to go in the morning, just depending on what you're going to do, choose something that would fit your life already. You need to add fitness into your life. Don't just necessarily revolve your whole life around fitness, but just incorporate fitness into your life. Now, the next thing, once you know what you want to do and you've chosen a gym and you've gotten a membership or something, you've gotten a deal maybe because it's the end of the year, usually there are deals. Now what? Now you put it in your calendar and you make an appointment with yourself about when you're going to go, and that's going to be a recurring appointment, not just a one-time thing. Ma'am and sir, you're going to put in your calendar, let's just say you want to go to the gym twice a week, Monday and Thursday, let's just say. After work, okay, maybe like 6 p.m. to like 7 or 7:30. Put out in your calendar and put in the time for your commute as well, so you don't think you're always taking longer than you think, or you're getting rushed or things like that. So put that in your calendar and make an appointment with yourself and stick to it. Now, if you want to go to the gym twice a week, that's how you're starting. Don't go 2 days in a row. don't just put, oh, Monday and Tuesday and then I'm done. I don't have to do it for the rest of the week. What's going to happen, especially if you haven't worked out in a while, you're probably going to be really sore after that first day. And that soreness might be the next day, but also maybe 2 days in a row. Sometimes that happens depending on how hard you want to go that first day. I would say start slow, but people get sore. It's fine. You're not always going to get sore or that sore after your workouts. I usually don't anymore if it's just the same type of workout. Sometimes on leg day I still do a little bit the next day, but I usually don't get super, super sore unless I change things in my program. So when I have a new program, when I change things around, new exercises, then I get sore again. But then again, once your body kind of gets used to it, that doesn't stick around, that doesn't stay. So I feel like a lot of people start going to the gym and then they get really sore that one day or two, and then they think that's always going to be the case. No, it isn't. Your body is just not used to it yet. But it's not going to help if you just schedule your 2 workouts for Monday and Tuesday, because then you won't be able to go on Tuesday, and well, that's the appointment you made to yourself. So you're probably not going to go for the rest of the week. So if you choose twice a week, just put like Monday or Thursday or something. If you choose 3 times a week, just at least one day in between where you can rest and recover is great. Now, I would really advise you to pick a time that isn't super busy at the gym. After work, usually 5 to 7, tends to get really crowded and really busy. And if you're starting out, you're a little bit scared, you're not super confident, maybe you don't know how to use some machines, how to do some exercises. You kind of want to be able to figure it out on your own and not be in a super crowded gym. So if you can, pick a time that isn't super busy. If you can go in the morning, maybe before work, that might involve waking up a little bit earlier, if that's possible. If not, even maybe a little bit later. But then sometimes if you come home from work, you don't really want to get out again to go to the gym. So if the only time that works for you is 5 to 7, even if it's busy, still do it, right? But I'm just saying, if you can, then pick a time that isn't super busy. That will make things a little bit easier and a little bit smoother. Now, bring headphones. Everybody there is wearing headphones anyway, or most people are. That helps for a variety of reasons. The first one being just being able to lift more. I feel like if you're wearing headphones, you're not hearing yourself huff and puff. Is that a term? But just you're not hearing yourself kind of struggling through those reps. It's just a good distraction from that struggle or that pain or discomfort. But another thing is that when you're wearing headphones, I can't speak today. I don't know what's happening. I'm sorry. I'm stumbling on my words a lot. When you bring headphones to the gym and when you're wearing them, especially the big ones, the over the head ones, you kind of feel like you're in a safe space, that you're in your own safe zone. Even if you wear just earbuds or things like that, it still gives you a little bit of that feeling. And then other people are less likely to talk to you if you have headphones. It kind of is a sign at the gym of, I don't really want people to talk to me right now. I just want to do my own thing. So yeah, bring headphones if you're a little bit scared of people talking to you and things like that. It might still happen, but most of the time, in general, people are just doing their own thing anyway. And that's something else to keep in mind, that at the gym, you might think that people are judging you and that people are looking at you not knowing what you're doing and that everybody knows that you don't know what you're doing. Respectfully, nobody cares that much. The thing is, most of us at the gym, between our sets, we're probably checking ourselves out and going back and forth between, oh my God, I look so terrible, or I haven't made any progress. Like, for example, girls would be like, my butt isn't growing, or maybe men will be like, my chest isn't growing, my arms are still small, I look so small, or I look too big, or I look whatever. Kind of not being satisfied enough with their physique. And on the other hand, we also have moments when we're like, oh my God, look at me in that mirror. I look so good. Look at that pump. I look like a babe, or I look really good today. So we might even go back and forth between those two feelings in the same gym session. So we definitely don't have time to be looking at other people wondering whether they've been here for a day or for like 3 years. Like again, we don't care. Now I'm saying that most people don't care. There might be the odd person that maybe looks at you funny, and that's not just because it's you. It's kind of just that person who looks at people funny, or they just make a comment at people. Some, like, it does happen. Like, I've been to the gym for a couple years, and maybe I've had like 2 instances maybe of people just saying a comment, like commenting on something. And yeah, so it doesn't happen very often at all. But if it does happen to you, if you're unlucky on that day and it happens to you, remember that people who matter don't care, and people who care don't matter. And that applies for the gym, I would say. Like, I don't necessarily use that for every aspect of my life, but really for just random gym goers, I would say that applies a lot. Now, if you're doing something that's dangerous and somebody's helping you out, and telling you or giving you some advice or something, I don't even know how to think about this. Most people, I think, try to not, because they know it can get sensitive and it can make the person feel less confident in what they're doing, even less confident. But other times they might just be trying to help. But again, it doesn't happen very often. Like, I don't really remember people just trying to tell me, hey, you're doing that wrong. That's just kind of things that I've heard people say they're scared is going to happen. So if that does happen, if you think that might happen, just think about it as either, okay, well, I'm getting some help so I can do that better, or you can just like not really pay attention. Like, either works, or you can also not pay attention that moment and then go and Google that exercise later if you want to be sure that you were doing it correctly. Again, either way, I just want to say that don't be scared of that judgment. That's the thing. It's most likely not going to happen, but if it does happen, you're going to be fine. You're not. It's not going to be the end of the world. You're going to be okay. Now, when you go to that gym, I would say dress cute, but comfortable. So dress cute so that you're confident walking into that gym. You still have your head held high. But at the same time, you don't need to, again, think of how Instagram models, fitness models would be dressing and having just a sports bra and like tiny shorts. And you don't think that you need to be wearing those things to be a fitness girly or to be able to go to the gym. Like, if you're comfortable wearing sweatpants and a t-shirt, do that. Or if you want to wear like Lululemon or a Gymshark or whatever you want to wear, just do what you want to do. Like, wear what you want to wear. Even if you want to wear a full face of makeup and do your hair, that's totally fine too. Whatever you need to do to feel your best. But also, again, if you're wearing something just because you think that's what you should be wearing and then you don't feel comfortable in it, that's not good. So wear something for you. Then the next step, I'm not counting steps, but the next thing to think about is to go in with a plan. What we're probably scared of is not being able to use some equipment or to know how to do an exercise or things like that. So have a plan. You can even hire a personal trainer or an online coach. So then if you hire a personal trainer, they're just going to be there with you, showing you at that point how to do something. If you hire an online coach, you're going to get a plan from them about what you need to do. Then you can watch videos. They would probably already be giving you videos on how to do it. You can rewatch those videos. I still, when I have a new exercise, watch videos, like just YouTube it. And I've seen other people do that at the gym too. Just YouTubing, do we say that? But YouTubing how to use a machine or how to maybe do a different variation of an exercise or something. That's totally fine. Honestly, like, nobody cares. Like, if I see somebody doing that, I'm not going to think for a second about it. Like, I'm just going to go on my own merry way. It's something that I expect people, I guess that's what I want to say. I kind of expect people to be doing that and verifying and making sure they're doing something right. So don't worry about it. You can always Google how to use an equipment. Sometimes on machines, there are stickers and instructions on how to use them. Again, there's always so many machines. There's always new ones. So I've had lots of instances, even this year, where I didn't know how to use something. For example, the last one I think was the belt squat, because I don't see that very often. But when I saw that the first time, I was like, oh, I've seen it on Instagram and I really want to use it, but I don't actually know how to. So then I kind of struggled with it for a little bit, kind of read the instructions. That didn't help. Googled it or YouTubed it. It took me a while. I could have just asked somebody at this point. I really don't mind asking somebody, hey, do you know how to use that? But I think I asked, but then it was still like a new equipment or an equipment that not everybody necessarily uses, so they didn't know. But my point is just, again, don't fear the judgment. Just do what you have to do, but go in with that plan of, okay, I know I have like 5 exercises to do or 4 exercises to do today. And then you can always have a little tour around when you come in to see where the different equipment are. For example, you're doing back, you're going to start with deadlifts or something, and you have like lat pull downs, like whatever it is, just kind of glance and check out where every piece of equipment that you need is, trying to find it. If you can't find it, you're always welcome to ask somebody who works at the gym where something is. They would know. But try to find your roadmap. So I'm going to work out here, or even while you're resting between sets at your first exercise, kind of look for your second one. Where is it? Is it free right now? Oh, it's free. Okay, I'm going to go from here immediately there. Or it's not free. What do I do? Okay, that's my third exercise. Let me go there instead. So again, have a plan before going of what you're going to do, how many exercises you're going to do, where the equipment are. If you can, if you can't, that's okay too. But that just prevents you needing to walk around and feel a little bit lost, because sometimes that also doesn't help. But also while you're there, always keep in mind of like, what's my next kind of plan of action? Like, especially at first, like, where am I going to go after? So then when you're walking with a purpose towards what you need to do. The next thing is overcoming challengers. So challengers will arise, and that is okay. You have to remember that progress is not going to be linear. Whether you want to lose weight, whether you want to build muscle, you want to get stronger, it's not going to be linear. So you have to, first of all, keep that in mind, that it's okay that there's going to be some weeks where you're not going to see progress, or it's going to be an off week. Whether on the scale, whether with weights at the gym, the progress, it's okay. It's just keep track of your progress in different ways and look at the average. The not recurring average, like the, what is the term called for like the continuous average of how it's going? I don't remember the term. Sometimes English just doesn't come to me, and that's okay. But anyway, so remember that, but also follow inspiring people. So like get motivation from, and I'm going to talk about motivation in a second, but get inspiration, I would say, from a bunch of different sources. One, inspiring people, inspiring fitness accounts maybe, or podcasts, YouTube videos, whatever you need to get that inspiration from or to learn from, maybe get some knowledge from. Maybe that podcast is one of them. So follow those on Instagram, again, on Spotify, whatever. But also seek that motivation from within. And when I say motivation, don't rely on motivation to get you to the gym. I feel like motivation comes from actually doing the work. You might start out as January 1st as like, oh, I'm motivated for like 2 weeks. At some point, this is going to dip. But you have to, and you may or may not have built the habit at that point when the motivation dips, to actually stick with that like routine. So I'm going to say that again. You might start out working out, for example, with motivation, January 1st, highly motivated. And then at that point, that motivation is going to dip, and that is going to happen maybe before or after you have actually built that habit in yourself to do that activity, for example, going to the gym. So it might happen that you are motivated and you stay motivated until you've built that habit, and then you've built that discipline, and then it comes normal for you to go. Or maybe 2 weeks after you started feeling motivated, you no longer feel that way. But you still have to keep going. So once you actually get there, once you keep going with it, you're going to see that that motivation is kind of going to come and go. So it's going to come again, and then again, maybe dip again on some off weeks and things like that. But then at some point, you're just going to build, it's going to be, again, a habit for you, a routine. It's just going to be part of what you do. So you're not really going to think about it twice, like brushing your teeth. Like, you don't really think about, should I do it? Should I not? I mean, hopefully you're not thinking about that. You just do. So, like, seek that motivation from within too, but also don't rely on motivation itself. Really build that grit, that discipline to go. But to do that, you have to remember your goals. So sometimes people might think maybe that's motivation, just thinking about your goals. Have like both. If you want extrinsic goals or kind of more external goals, like physique goals, have also some intrinsic goals about how it's going to make you feel and things like that. And all of those are really going to keep you going. Remember, if you have to, put a picture on your phone of, your aesthetic that you want to work towards or whatever. Do it. Do whatever you have to do to really remind yourself of why you started and why you're doing that. But also celebrate your little victories, even if they're small ones. Celebrate your small wins, because sometimes we forget to enjoy that journey. Also focus on the destination that we forget the journey. But keep in mind that you might not see progress like day to day. And sometimes if you forget to look back a little bit further, to look back at the bigger picture, you might not notice of how much progress you've made. So it's really important to do things like taking progress pictures so you have things to look back on and actually realize that, oh, you've come very far. Now, the next thing is life outside the gym. Your life outside the gym should also reflect you being a fitness girly. Now, that doesn't mean that you have to talk about the gym all the time or to start a fitness podcast about it. That's just what I do. But on a more basic level, are you getting enough sleep? Are you eating well? All of this is important if you want to see progress. Don't just, like, you only spend like 1 hour, maybe 1 to 2 hours at the gym a couple times a week. What about the rest of the week? That's a lot of hours of you not being at the gym. So are you spending it sleeping? Like, are you sleeping enough at least? Are you spending it eating well when you're eating? Like, ask yourself and make better choices and decisions and build better habits outside the gym too. Now, some tips for your journey, and that's more of a recap moment, but to all the aspiring fitness girlies. Start now. Again, don't wait for the perfect moment and experiment with different workouts. Like I said, find your aesthetic. Another thing is to stay consistent with it. Rome wasn't built in a day. Your ideal body is not going to be built in a day. You can't just do a squat and then try to find your butt in the mirror. I do that after every session, and every time, like, I feel like very often I will just text my coach being like, where is it? Where's my butt? Or I'm just going to post on Instagram being like, where is it? I can't find it. I'm not making progress. Again, that might be a mixture of me not seeing the like day-to-day progress and not looking back far enough, but also it might just be me not being patient enough. So stay consistent with it. It takes time, and focus on how exercise makes you feel as well as how it makes you look. So I feel like a lot of us should start exercising not because we hate our body, but because we love our body. You love your body, and that's why you want to change it. You want to make it better. You want to make it the version 2.0 of you. You don't want to just like get rid of how you look. You just want to upgrade. That's the thing. And why do you want to upgrade? Why do you upgrade anything? Because you like it. You want to like love it even more. So yeah, that's kind of all I have for how to be a fitness girly or how to start your journey. And that would apply a lot of it to men too, but that's just a term that I decided to use. I should probably have said that at the beginning of the podcast instead of at the end, but you know what? That's totally fine. But anyway, thank you for tuning in. Again, remember that it's not about conforming to whatever you see on Instagram. It's really about that feeling of being a fitness girly, finding that joy, that strength, that confidence in your fitness journey. It's amazing. Like, I can't tell you how much it does for your mental health as well as your physical health. So like if you are like, a big win for me right now would be if you start out and you start seeing yourself as that gym girl. That's already going to be an upgrade. But then you have to be true to it. So you don't just call yourself that and then not do anything about it, right? But really get into that mindset, kind of like tell yourself you are that, and then do the habits that this person would do. And that would apply to anything you really want to do in life, I would say. But right now we're talking about fitness. So start now and let me know how it goes. Thank you once again for tuning in. I will see you tomorrow. Bye.